Bye.
Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube. It is your girl Honey. Welcome back people, welcome back. Those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. I am Honey. I am an astrologer. I'm also studying psychology and counseling. Today we are talking about love, romance, relationships, all because we are in the season of love. I don't even know how, but someone tell me how Aquarius season is when Valentine's Day is. These people can't even text back. Yeah, why is it in Aquarius season? Tell me why. Anyway, we are going to be talking a little bit about love today and what types of love we experience within our lives, because we all go through different stages of love. The 4 different types of love that we experience in our lifetime with our significant partners, with our romantic relationships. We can all reach, 75, 80, 90, 100, whatever years old. But I guarantee that there will always be 3 or 4 people in our lives that stand out to us the most. Now, our first loves happens, and by the way, some people are lucky enough to find their lover. When they're in their teens, they may get married very young. They are together for the rest of their lives. There are people out there like that. This video probably isn't for them. Marrying your high school sweetheart, things like that. There are a lot of people that don't relate to that. So I'm speaking to those people, okay? All right, cool. Okay, so look, we all go through our first love. Some people are lucky enough to experience their first love very young. For me, I was 14, going on 15, when I experienced what love was. How do I know what love was? I don't know. It was just how I felt at the time. But it was my first relationship, first kiss, first holding hands. It was my first, literally, that feeling inside that we can't really describe as what love is, but I had that feeling with him. Now, when it comes to your first love makes you feel giddy inside. It's just sweet, innocent, romantic, it's puppy love, and it's just so beautiful, and nothing can go wrong. Oh my God. Like, your first love tends to be very innocent because you're still learning about yourself, and this all depends on how old you are, okay? Let's bear that in mind. But you're still learning about who you are as a person, learning about yourself. Our first love is like an introduction into love. And let's be real, all of us that have experienced love before, it does feel exciting. There is, for me anyway, there's a lot of adrenaline rush going through your body. And I'll be real, like, my first love was a secret. I didn't tell, not even my friends knew. I didn't tell anybody because I was young at the time. But I have never felt anything like that since. It was a very different, innocent feeling. But it was this introduction into, wow, I have these emotions, these feelings. I like this feeling. Now, you break up with your partner for whatever reason, and then you move on to your second love, your second stage. And, when it comes to your second stage, this is where things just get nasty, okay? It gets nasty. And I feel like it gets nasty at your stage 2 because you're still kind of bringing that beauty and that the rose tinted glasses and the fantasy of it all from your previous relationship. And some people, have remained in contact with their first, like, I can't even lie, a lot of my friends, they still follow their first ever loves on social media, and it might be like a little hello here or there, but there's nothing that kind of is enough to say, yeah, let's get back together. However, second stage of love in our lives is next level. A lot of people are still bringing a lot of into their second stage relationship, and this is where things can get very dangerous. Because we're still dealing with this, our first love, our first experience and how that made us feel. And we want the same thing in the next relationship, but obviously better, right? So the next stage of love, it feels, I always say this, soul binding. It feels like you are supposed to be with that person for the rest of your life. There is a major sexual connection, and it feels like, like something that's wrong, but it feels right. Even for those people who are here about astrology, I call it a plutonic relationship. Those of you, please go and watch that video. I will link it up here. But plutonic relationships are based on major intensity. And also those of you who do tarot cards will know the devil card, okay? A lot of people are afraid of the devil card. And the reason why I say this is because you have the devil in the middle and you have the two people side by side and they are shackled together. And I remember when I was going through a breakup with my stage 2, my second love, the card that came up every single time was the devil's card. And I felt terrible because this card is linked to Pluto. And even that year, my solar turn chart, I was a Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising. It was I was an emotional wreck. Things can get very toxic here because there can be trust issues. There can be issues in the relationship that can create difficulties in being able to move forward because something that is an issue is still holding you back. And a lot of people that are at their stage 2, they feel addicted to their partner. And I was lucky enough to not end up having a child for my ex-partner, and I'm happy about that because I'd be tied to him for life. And this is where a lot of people get things fucked up, is that they end up having a child with that person. And those of you who again are into astrology, you guys will click on my video, ancestral traumas or inheritances. When your parents have come together and it's crazy intense in an unhealthy way, it will come through in your child's birth chart, things like that. But there are some people who do end up having a child for their stage 2 love, you know, and we can also say that this is a soul connecting feeling. We have multiple soulmates, from our friends to our family, but stage 2 is a soulmate. But soulmates haven't got to be good for us. Just remember that. So some people end up having a child with their stage 2. And when you have a child with someone, you're binded to them for life, in most cases anyway. And you're still having to converse, to communicate. And when it comes to plutonic relationships, that major intensity, it's very hard to let go. And I'm gonna be real, I understand why a lot of people have a very hard time letting go. These are for people who have Pluto in their 7th house, Pluto squaring and even opposing their Venus, Pluto conjunct their moon, squaring their moon, more so the conjunction of the moon, Venus in Scorpio, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Pluto in the 5th house. People that have those placements in astrology are very much likely to end up stuck here. Second stage feels familiar to all of us. And we all feel like, you know what, like, if I don't have something as intense as this, I don't want it, right? Because it's like this intense feeling. That person must love me because they're going crazy about me. That's the worst way to associate love, is with people doing these awful, intense things towards you. You don't do shit like that, right? You don't do shit like that. That's the crazy thing. Like, when you are very intense with the love is crazy, it's very sexual, it's hard to kind of step away from that person. So when you have a child with that person, you have to deal with them for the rest of your life. Even if you guys was to break up, that soul binding connection does not go anywhere. It stays there. You can suppress it. And I'm not saying you can't move on, because you can, but you can suppress that feeling. And some people end up being single, but still going back to that shit ex. Still going back because it's familiar to you, and it's that feeling of, I feel like I'm home. There's that. And there's also finding people, dating people who exhibit the exact same energy that your ex had. So the cycle is continuing when you are actually supposed to use that relationship to psychologically evolve and analyze how you behaved in the relationship, how they behaved, and how you can do better, be better, and attract better. Does that make sense? That is what we want to see from our plutonic or our second stage relationships. Now, in terms of our third stage relationship, I feel like this is for the grown and sexy. Grown and sexy relationships, because these are for people who have gone through it, got a t-shirt, experienced all of that good stuff, that bad stuff too. And they're like, you know what, I'm hurting. I need to heal myself, work on myself, be single for a while, have some fun, and get back down to earth to learn more about me, because I'm the focus here. So I feel like for a lot of people who end up meeting their stage 3, which is your twin flame, your twin flame, someone who is there to create the spark within you. And we tend to meet this person when we are not necessarily expecting a relationship to form. You do not go out there looking for a relationship. You are working on being a better version of you. There's nothing wrong with manifesting, but do not make it your everyday focus. You are focusing on being the better version of you. Therefore, you can attract the better version of somebody else. This person may not be your initial first choice in terms of what they physically look like. They could well be as well. It could literally be, we're just friends, we're getting to know each other, we're just talking, and things can move very slow because you're still kind of traumatized, by your previous relationship. Therefore, things are very slowed down and you're just trying to take it easy. And what's happening is things are naturally flowing with this person and it's easy. Your twin flame is supposed to make things easier when you guys are diving into a relationship together. So what we see is two people coming together, and by that stage they would have psychologically evolved, learning a lot more about themselves, their exes, etc., and applied the same work that we were trying to do in our previous relationships we couldn't do. We're going to apply it now. So now we are putting the theory to the practical in this relationship. And there's more of a, I really want to, try harder to achieve the best out of this relationship. And I always say your twin flame is there to show you sides to yourself you've never seen before. They're supposed to be there to show you a lot more about who you are as a person. Awaken different energies in you you've never thought that you'd find. But I always say, for me, this energy is supposed to just fit like this, like that, and things are supposed to manifest. But because two people now know what they want, things should be easier. And I strongly feel like every time you are dating people, your life is supposed to get easier over time. I do feel like with the man I'm with now, it's easy. I know what it is, I know what I have, and I know where we're going. And there it just flows with ease. I've never had that before. So my first relationship, I was very insecure. I wanted to kind of do more than just settle down with someone. My second relationship, I was insecure again because my partner was out here reckless in these streets. He's for the streets, the community. And then my current boyfriend, he's here for me. And when someone feels like they were made for you, that's how your twin flame should make you feel. There needs to be that connection between you both, where this is your job, this is my job, and together we are on job. It's like I could be lacking something and my partner could be excelling in something, but we're here to create the harmony and the balance between our sense of selves. Like, your partner is supposed to help you to develop and become a lot more consciously aware of who you are as a person. So if your partner is not doing that, something ain't right. But a twin flame is a healing relationship. It literally feels like this relationship is healing me from what I've previously been through. Like, when it comes to a twin flame, right, they're supposed to be able to communicate with you in a way that when it comes to your flaws, they're showing you your flaws, but you are more open to doing something about it. Someone's not being petty with you, saying, oh, you're this and you can't do that. No. This ain't no stage 2, baby. No, this is stage 3 now. We are grown and sexy, we are mature, and we are dealing with things. So for me, I do feel like these are the stages of love that we all experience at different ages in our lives. Like I said, some people are lucky enough to find their first love and get married for the rest of their lives. That's great. Maybe even the second love, that's great. But for a lot of people out there are more people out there who do have similar stories in terms of, having 3 different types of love. Now, the 4th type of love, companionship. I feel like companionship gets left out quite a lot when we are talking about love, because to a lot of people it can be seen as unconventional. When people say I'm looking for companionship, someone that I can go and travel with, explore the world with, enjoy dates with. When I think of companionship, I'm thinking of two people coming together, having a very deep friendship, and it's deeper than just being friends. You know, like doing small things together, just having company. It's like, you know, like when you go to your family's house and everyone's there, it's for like an event. This is like, you know, pre-COVID times. But you go to your family's house, everyone's there, but then you go home. Some people go home to their own lives and being alone, whereas some people have a companionship where they have someone to go home to. And it could just be spending time together. And when I say spend time together, I'm literally just talking about watching TV together, Netflix and chill, going out for walks, walking the dog, you know, taking a flight to the Caribbean, you know, going anywhere together. But it's about this deep emotional connection. It's a bond. And just to kind of make things clear, it doesn't always mean a companionship is a romantic relationship, but it is a deep feeling. And I do feel like it becomes a lot more common when you've been single for a very long time, and you're trying to find someone who shares the same interests that you share. Or once you reach a certain age, your partner could have passed away, you may have been divorced, you could be single. Like, I do see companionship coming more so into the later years in life, and sometimes it can be completely ruined. But to have companionship, two people need to be on the same page. You need to have two people who are either here romantically involved, or they are here having a friendship, companionship. And even so, it's so much deeper than you just having a best friend. Your best friend, right, is your friend, but they have their own family, their own lives, they have their own shit to deal with. But a companionship is someone who you share a life with. So that's why we're saying it's a lot more deeper than just how it appears. And I'm not saying everybody reaches that stage of companionship, because not everybody does. But sometimes when we go through a period of our lives where we don't want anything romantic at all, we just want to have someone who we can count on, someone there. Or when we get older, you know, no one's around, we want a companionship. And I do feel this is where people do start to buy animals and pets and stuff, because it's very similar in terms of having company, a companion there. I'm talking about human interactions, human relationships, you know? So yeah, those are my 4 different love experiences that most of us go through in our lives. And I wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day. And I will see you guys very soon. All right, take care, people. Bye bye.